Right now, there probably isn't a place for it. But maybe there really should be.
The all-new hot rockin' Z100 Eddie Grant Electric Avenue. What was the name of that band that Eddie Grant was in?
Oh, you had to pull that one. You got me.
Eddie Grant was a lead singer of a group that
Supremes.
Not the Supremes, you nitwit.
Here's the new stories making headlines this hour. The White House is on alert following a suicide bomb threat. The Secret Service has upped security and brought in 7 dump trucks full of sand to surround the White House. In sports, the Lions mugged the Steelers. The Cowboys beat the Cardinals. The Giants are going to a one-back offense for the Raiders game on Sunday. And Marvis Frazier doesn't have much of a chance to beat Larry Holmes tonight, so say the experts.
Now, I'm not old enough to remember when radio was at its height, like in that clip, but I caught, the tail end of it. Around 2010-ish, I used to wake up for school every morning with a clock radio to the sound of that guy's voice, Scott Shannon. In between when that clip was recorded in 1983 and when I started listening to him, he left the station Z100 and started a morning show on the station WPLJ with another radio DJ, Todd Penningill. And, it was called Scott and Todd in the Morning.
Hey, it's Scott and Todd from PLJ. Here's the situation.
Tomorrow morning at 7:10, we're giving away $5,000 with the name game.
And no Jersey Shore nickname, Snooky.
Win $5,000 tomorrow morning at 7:10. Play the PLJ name game.
They played music, but the host also gave you local news and weather and events that were going on in your local community. And it was all done live. Radio shows like that do still exist, but there's a few problems now. And to try and explain what I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks, I want to first talk about social media for a little while and think about how we connect with people in our community today.
$100 mystery only. Here's the clue one more time. There you go. Let's go to the phones. Hello's.
The way I like to organize this thought is into online and offline. Online contains all your social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and any others like that. And it's the main way that people stay connected and informed today. And then offline is mostly word of mouth, but also things like flyers and other in-person events. Just in-person connection and information. Social media, when it was in its infancy, from what I remember, was made to strengthen our real-world offline connections. Think about Facebook, how it was originally a place that was sort of without a place to meet with people, chat, learn about people's interests, and form groups based on real-life communities. Also, Instagram. It started as a platform to pretty much share your personal photo album and captured memories with your friends and people you already knew. So most of social media's original intent was to enhance real connection. So it was fantastic for finding out about events happening around you, current local news, community happenings, all that. But as it grew, it started to kind of float away from that and become its own bubble, which feels kind of like connection, but actually it's more of an illusion. It's gone from a tool into kind of a weird, or really weird, second reality. Of course, you can still use it like a tool to connect. The original purpose is still there in every social media app, but now it's buried so deep under all this stuff. A lot of ads, a lot of people just trying to get your attention no matter what, and a lot of watching people you'd like to form a connection with, but unfortunately never will. It's like being a monkey at the zoo wanting to play with people. You almost can, you think you can, but you're never going to be able to. And while that's always kind of been the case, now it's happening to such a degree that you're barely even interacting with the world anymore. You're interacting with a world that's completely its own. It used to represent us, but now it barely does. It's one of the main reasons why in 2023, the US Surgeon General at the time, Vivek Murthy, who's pretty much the guy in charge of telling the American public about nationwide healthcare issues, he put out an 82-page advisory about America's new loneliness epidemic, which that's concerning. And although there's many causes, there's a section all about technology and social media that highlights the exact issues that I'm trying to talk about. Social media just simply isn't made for people anymore. It's made for, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men.
Radio, that's real offline connection. I see potential there. See, every radio station is only able to broadcast within 30 to 40 miles, which may seem like a bad thing, but it means that by design, radio is exclusively tied to your local community. That means that just like the early days of social media, it's great for finding out about events happening around you, current local news, community happenings. To me, it feels like the bridge between online and offline. You can get all the simulated interaction and information you need without ever having to go online. You're able to feel connected and informed about your community, so then you can go in person and make connections with people in the real world. And even though stations have to run ads, those ads are usually local small businesses, so it feeds back into the system of community connection. All right, there we go. Seems perfect. That's the answer. But radio isn't really up for the job as of late. Yes, you can still listen to radio right now as it stands, but besides other problems like, sound quality and static, the reasons why we went away from radio in the first place, it's, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, a cultural dinosaur. It's culturally abandoned. Almost all radio stations out there, besides maybe, college radio, are only still run and listened to by the generations who grew up on it. Everyone my age, most of the population, don't listen to radio at all. They all have their own bubble of music and podcasts and whatever they're surrounded in. And you know what? I can't even blame them. Radio right now is just that thing that sounds bad and your dad listens to sometimes. That's all it is. But when that older generation who listened to radio was growing up, they had that feeling, that experience of being connected through the radio. And that's because everybody participated in it. It was the social media of that time period. For example, in 1983, when Z100 started in New York City, it took 74 days to climb to the #1 station with 750,000 listeners. So many people knew about it. And so many artists' careers were made just because of that one radio station. You got Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, and that's way before Nirvana. So if you listen to radio now, it's really niche and it's just a corner of the media world. There isn't the cultural infrastructure like there once was to feel connected to the majority of people in your community. But for a new generation like mine, like ours, maybe we can have radio updated and revamped to focus specifically on bringing people together in their local community. You know, build it back up and promote listening to these new stations. Kind of similar to how it was done in the past, but now these stations can specialize in just local connection. You know, maybe you can have younger radio hosts showing off events going on this week to attend, local issues, local music, just local culture to go and be involved in. It can be a tool to help us all who are living in a social media driven world discover local events and local places where they can find real in-person connection. It can be just like how social media originally was. It can be something where you don't even need to use your phone. You can just press one button and then boom, you're instantly connected to the community. And it feels great. Now I know this whole thing has probably been sounding like a little bit of an old man rant, and you know, maybe it is. But I've had this idea rolling around in my head for a little while, and I don't know if maybe it sounds a little crazy, but I really just think there's a lot of good untapped potential possibilities for a new generation of radio. You know, that missing link that, you know, we don't have anymore with social media, because social media doesn't really seem social anymore. So, is there still a place for radio? Not right now, but I really think there can be, and I really think there should.